Hello, I am Mary Magdalene. I've fallen, I've cried, but I've also healed. And today I pray with you as someone who knows pain. There is a knot in your life that no one has been able to untie until now. You have tried everything, absolutely everything within your reach and beyond. You have cried in silence through endless nights that seemed never to end. You have prayed desperately until you lost your voice. You have waited with infinite patience for something, anything, to change in your favor. Yet nothing moves, nothing changes, nothing progresses toward where you need to go. You feel as if your life is frozen in time, as if an invisible, incomprehensible force keeps you trapped in the same place, repeating the same pains day after day, the same anguish that gives you no rest, the same voids that never fill no matter how hard you try. Each day looks like the one before, as if it were an exact copy, and you ask yourself with deep sadness if anything will ever truly be different, if you will ever see the light at the end of this dark tunnel. But today, at this very moment, as you hear these words that have reached you, something profound is about to change in your life in a radical and permanent way. This prayer did not reach you by chance or coincidence. It came as a direct response from heaven to your silent plea. Holy Mary, the untier of knots, has seen the silent suffering you carry inside, counted each of your hidden tears that no one else saw, and she is ready to intervene in your life right now, in this sacred and special moment. The knots that paralyze you, the ones no human eyes can see but that you feel heavy in your chest each passing day, are about to begin unraveling under her maternal hands. Prepare yourself, open your heart wide, because what seemed completely impossible from any human perspective is about to be transformed before your eyes today. You are in Pray with Mary, a sacred refuge for weary souls who have already tried everything without success and now choose to trust in the infinite power of heaven as a last hope. Here, you are not alone. You will never be alone in your battle again. Here, faith becomes the solid bridge between your darkest despair and the miracle you so desperately need. The miracle that seems distant, but is closer than you imagine at this very moment. If you believe that Mary can change your story, if you feel even a small spark of hope in your wounded heart, join this prayer with all that you are, with your whole being. Because when we pray together in a community of faith, when we unite our broken yet genuinely faithful voices, we touch the very heart of God. When we cry out together in true and authentic faith, without masks to protect us, without pretensions or falsehoods, the Virgin Mary enters those impossible battles that we cannot win alone, those internal wars that are slowly destroying us. She patiently unties the knots that imprison our paths, prevent us from moving toward our destiny, and steal our restorative sleep and the peace of our soul. With her delicate yet powerful hands as a heavenly mother, she frees the flow of life that has been completely blocked by difficult circumstances. Today, we will pray with total and absolute surrender, without mental reservations, without doubts to hold us back. With complete truth, showing our hearts as they are, wounded yet trusting in the power of God. With the deep certainty that she is listening to us at this very moment, that every word we speak with faith reaches her maternal ears filled with compassion. No matter how long you have waited, no matter how many times you have prayed without seeing an answer, today is different. Today, something is moving in heaven for you. Lord, I come before you completely exhausted, with no strength left to hold me up, at the very limit of my human endurance. My energy has long since faded, and I no longer know where to find more to keep going. Everything seems still, frozen at a point of no return, as if time itself had stopped just for me, while the rest of the world moves forward as usual. I feel trapped inside a dark labyrinth from which I cannot find an exit, no matter how desperately I search. I have knocked on so many doors with renewed hope, and all remain locked, sealed, inaccessible to me. Nothing advances in my life. Nothing blooms as it should. Nothing changes for the better, no matter what I do. It is as if my whole life has been tied up by invisible, yet real and painful knots. Knots woven with threads of deep sadness, with the accumulated frustration of years, with losses no one knows about because I've kept them in absolute silence. And the worst of all, the thing that hurts most in my heart, is that no one sees it. No one truly understands. I carry all of this in absolute silence, day after day, night after sleepless night. The smile I show on the outside does not reflect even a fraction of the devastating storm within me, deep in my being. There are days so dark that I seriously think about giving up, about letting everything go, because it seems that everything I do ends badly. Everything I touch breaks in my hands, and everything I try with effort fails miserably. But today, right now, in this sacred moment, I kneel before you with an open heart and offer you all my accumulated anguish, every ounce of my hidden pain, every fragment of my broken soul that seems beyond repair. I can no longer pretend that I have strength when I do not. I can no longer continue walking without any clear direction, going around in meaningless circles. The tears I have hidden for so long, the ones I have shed in secret on sleepless nights while everyone else slept, I now let fall freely before your sacred altar without shame, because only your infinite love, that love without measure or condition, has the true power to heal me completely, to restore me from the deepest parts of my being, to make me whole again as I was in the beginning. I place in the blessed and powerful hands of Our Lady every blocked area of my existence, every closed door I encounter, every dead end that frustrates me. She who knows every knot of my wounded heart, every complicated tangle of my soul, every pain hidden in the darkest corners. She knows exactly where all this consuming suffering began. She knows the origin of every wound I carry, and she also knows where my true healing and complete liberation can begin. My mother, take my pain into your loving arms. Embrace me as only a mother can, with infinite tenderness. Untie, with supernatural patience, the knots that have me paralyzed, that keep me from breathing freely, that prevent me from living fully, and present my soul to Jesus, your beloved Son, with that infinite tenderness of a mother who never abandons her child, who never gives up, who never loses faith in him. I have nothing material left to offer, Mother. My hands are completely empty, but I still have faith. Even if it is as small as a mustard seed, I still have the certainty that rises in my spirit that something deep, something powerful, something truly miraculous is about to change in my life, because you are interceding for me before the throne of God at this very moment. Most Holy Mother, I cry out to you with all that I am, with all that I have, with every bit of strength that remains in me. I can no longer fight this battle alone. It is slowly destroying me. My soul is screaming desperately for help, for rescue, for urgent relief. I need your immediate intervention, my beloved Mother. Urgent, like someone drowning in deep, dark waters unable to reach the surface, like one standing at the edge of a great abyss, surrounded only by darkness, with no ray of light to guide him to safety. Everything in my life is completely blocked, totally stagnant without movement. The paths refuse to open, no matter how persistently I push forward. Answers never come, even though I wait anxiously every day. Peace left long ago and has not returned, leaving only constant restlessness and consuming anguish. Yet I continue to believe, with unshakable firmness, with stubborn faith that does not give up, that when I call upon you with genuine faith, when I pronounce your name with true devotion from my heart, all of heaven begins to move. The angels rise to action, and the power of God descends with strength upon my situation. Our Lady, untier of knots, enter my life right now without delay. Do not wait any longer, my mother. Descend to that deep, dark place where everything became stuck and stopped long ago. Go directly to that exact moment when pain settled in my heart like a permanent tenant that refuses to leave. Go to that specific instant when hope shattered like glass, when dreams withered like flowers without water, and begin to untie with your most holy hands, with those maternal fingers that can do all things because they hold the power of heaven, each one of the complicated knots that prevent me from moving toward my destiny, that rob me of peace of soul each day, that constantly steal the hope from my heart, that keep me bound to a painful past from which I cannot escape. My beloved mother, I know with absolute certainty that you are listening to me now, that I am not speaking into the void, as I have so often felt. Intercede for me before your beloved Son Jesus, who can do all things. Speak to him about me. Tell him my pain in detail. Speak for me where my own words have lost their voice, where my throat closes from too much crying and cannot express the sorrow. Enter my home, which urgently needs your blessing. Enter my tormented mind, which needs your supernatural peace. Enter the deepest part of my shattered heart, which needs your healing love that restores. Break now, with power, the heavy chains of stagnation that press me to the ground. Destroy the cruel blockage that has paralyzed all my dreams and the promising future that once seemed within reach. I need you to intervene powerfully with maternal authority, with that power that only you possess before the throne of God as the mother of Jesus. I need a clear sign from heaven, a divine confirmation that tells me I am not abandoned, that I am not forgotten, that God is still thinking of me and has good plans for my life, even if, in my weakness, I feel that I don't deserve it, even if my faith is wounded, fragile, and trembling. I still cry out to you with all the desperation of my soul, my beloved mother, because I know with every part of my being, with every fiber of my existence, that when everything seems completely lost, when there is no possible human way out, you come from heaven, bringing renewed hope, bringing divine light to the darkness, bringing abundant life to what seemed dead and without future. And what once appeared forever closed, sealed by locks impossible to open, you begin to unlock with your maternal power that knows no limits and can do all things. Even though my tired eyes still see nothing, even though everything seems unchanged on the outside, I believe firmly with all my heart. Even though my wounded heart does not yet feel any immediate change, even though the pain is still present for now, I trust without doubt in your powerful intercession before God. Because true faith, the faith that moves mountains, as the word says, does not depend on what our physical eyes can see, nor is it based on material evidence we can touch. It is based on what the heart manages to believe against all odds, against all human logic that says otherwise. And my heart, though deeply wounded and bleeding, though marked by the scars of past battles, still firmly believes that God is acting in my favor at this very moment, that His mighty hand is moving in invisible dimensions, that your intercession is reaching heaven and being heard. I completely renounce the paralyzing doubt that has stolen so much time from me. I renounce the fear that has trapped me in an invisible cage from which I cannot escape. I renounce that persistent, cruel voice of defeat that constantly whispers in my ear that nothing will ever change, that it will always be this way, that there is no hope for me. Today, I choose to trust, consciously. I choose to believe against all visible evidence, even when all circumstances seem against me, even when this endless waiting exhausts me and wears down my soul. I proclaim with deep conviction, God has not forgotten me. God knows my name personally. He has counted my days. He knows every detail of my suffering. He has seen every single tear fall, without exception. And Our Lady, Mary, continues praying for me without ceasing, without rest, even when my knees are too tired to bend anymore, even when my lips can no longer find words to pray because the pain is too great. My beloved Mother, I know that you are here with me at this very moment. I feel your maternal presence, even though I cannot see you with my physical eyes. You who have already untied knots far greater and more complicated than mine throughout history, knots that seemed impossible to undo by human hands. You can also untangle the impossible messes of my life, no matter how complex they may seem. My faith is small, like a mustard seed. I acknowledge it with total humility. I am not perfect in my faith, nor do I pretend to be, but it is authentic, real, sincere. It comes from the heart, without pretense. That is why I now hand you the key to all my paths, every area of my life without exception. Go before me, Mother. Be my guide in this darkness that blinds me, and in every place where thick darkness keeps me from seeing the right path. Light your divine flame that illuminates everything and drives away the shadows. Where you find barriers that seem eternal and immovable, breathe your powerful spirit upon them and tear them down completely. Where you find deep discouragement that presses me to the ground, plant fresh seeds of hope that will soon sprout in my heart. Because even if I still cannot see changes with my physical eyes, even if the landscape seems the same, I can already feel deep within my spirit that something important is moving in the invisible dimensions of the spiritual realm. I can already sense that things are changing, even if it has not yet manifested in the natural world. And even if the process takes time, even if the answer does not come tomorrow, I decide to wait with renewed patience, with perseverance that does not give up, with hope that is reborn every day. Because whoever trusts in God through Mary, whoever places their life in your maternal hands with faith, will never be publicly shamed, never abandoned to fate, never disappointed in their expectations. The knots of my life, however tight they may be, little by little, one by one, with divine patience that never rushes, are being undone by your merciful and powerful hands that work tirelessly. Mother, today I beg you with all my soul shattered into pieces, free me from my invisible chains. Free me from everything that human eyes cannot see, but that my soul feels with painful intensity each passing day. Tear away from me the invisible spiritual bonds that keep me tied to my painful past. Break the heavy chains that no one sees, but that constantly drag me downward, that drown my joy when it tries to arise naturally, that drain my last strength whenever I try to rise again with hope. I cry out to you with a firm and determined voice. Break now every negative influence that hangs over my life like a dark and heavy cloud that refuses to move. If there is envy directed against me, if there are envious eyes wishing me harm, let it be broken at this very moment by your maternal power. If there are cursed words spoken against me with ill intent, words uttered in moments of blind rage, let them be completely nullified by the infinite power of your Son Jesus, who conquered all darkness on the cross. If there is spiritual oppression constantly attacking me, invisible forces tormenting me without rest, let the glorious light of heaven shine upon me right now with absolute power and drive them far from my life. Most Holy Mother, untie all the spiritual knots that have slowly formed over time, year after year, painful experience after painful experience. Knot by knot, untie what paralyzes me. Fear by fear, free me from what terrifies me. Guilt by guilt, cleanse me from what condemns me. Pain by accumulated pain, heal what is destroying me from within. Each knot has its own story. Each one was tied during specific moments of my life. Some were born in childhood, when I learned that I was not enough, when I felt unloved in the way I needed. Others were formed during adolescence, when rejection scarred my identity and made me believe lies about myself. Still others were added in adulthood, with each disappointment, each closed door, each dream that withered before it could bloom. Touch with infinite tenderness the deepest wounds of my soul, those that no one has ever touched with true compassion, those I keep hidden even from myself because it hurts too much to look at them. Wash my heart completely with your pure, motherly love from heaven, the love that does not harshly judge my mistakes, that does not condemn my failures without mercy, but instead heals each broken part of my being with tenderness. I now reject, with spiritual authority, every influence that comes from darkness, from the evil one who seeks destruction. I reject, by the authority of my faith in Christ, everything that tries to pull me away from God's sacred path, everything that seeks to destroy my life and my future. In the mighty name of Jesus, and under your protective maternal intercession, I now rise as someone free, declaring my freedom aloud. Free to live fully as God wants me to live. Free to dream again the dreams I had buried out of fear. Free to begin anew without the weight of the past upon my shoulders. May every bond of the enemy be broken right now by the power of the victorious cross. May every emotional or spiritual prison in which I am trapped be completely destroyed. Our Lady, untier of knots, go before me with your blue protective mantle and undo every tie of darkness that binds me to destructive patterns. For whoever belongs to you, Mother, whoever shelters beneath your sacred mantle, no longer lives imprisoned by anything or anyone. No force of evil can touch or harm them. Mother, look upon my path with deep maternal compassion. See how all the roads are blocked without exception, with not a single door open to give me hope. The doors I see ahead appear locked with enormous padlocks that only heaven has the power to open, that no human key can unlock, no matter how hard I try. I have tried with all my human strength. I have knocked until my hands hurt. Yet everything gets stuck at the last moment when it seems it will work. Everything becomes blocked just as it is about to be resolved. Everything slips through my fingers like sand that I cannot hold, no matter how tightly I grasp. That is why today I humbly pray from the depths of my heart. Open the paths of my life that have been unjustly closed. Where you find a firm no, bring God's powerful yes. Where there are barriers raised by human hands, obstacles placed by envy or the malice of others, let the overwhelming force of the Holy Spirit tear them down all at once with power. Remove the obstacles in my path that prevent me from moving toward my destiny. Clear the enormous stones blocking my way to the future that God has prepared. Align the correct directions for my life according to God's perfect plan. I no longer know where to go. I have completely lost my way, but you know perfectly, for you see with clarity from heaven. So go before me, my mother, as a column of fire guiding through the night. Enter those important places where my name needs to be remembered, where I have been unjustly forgotten. Breathe your divine wind upon the projects that were left forgotten in the dust, covered by time and discouragement. Awaken the hearts of those who have the power to help me, but who do not think of me. Knock on the doors that I cannot reach with my own limited hands, those doors that are beyond my human reach. And when absolutely no one believes in me, when all have lost faith in my abilities, let your unwavering maternal faith be my firm support, my unconditional help that never fails. I consecrate to you, at this moment, all my dreams without exception, each one of them, all my plans for the future, all my goals that seem unreachable from where I stand, and even those secret desires of my heart that I no longer dare to speak aloud because they have been denied so many times that it hurts to ask for them. If they are part of God's perfect will, if they are in His divine plan for my life, let them be fulfilled with supernatural power. And if not, if God has something better prepared for me, may I have enough peace, the spiritual wisdom to let them go without pain, without bitterness that poisons my heart, fully trusting that God knows better than I do. Our Lady, untie her of knots. Go ahead and open, one by one, the paths the enemy tried to close forever, the ones he sealed, believing they would never open again. Because wherever you pass with your protective blue mantle, life flows again in abundance like a mighty river, and what was completely stuck, paralyzed, frozen in time, begins to move naturally once more by the supernatural power of your maternal intercession, which reaches straight to the heart of God the Father. Mother, there are pains buried deep that absolutely no one knows, not even those closest to me. There are old wounds that I have carried for years, perhaps decades, carefully hidden behind forced and false smiles that I have perfected over time to survive. Today, I ask you with my whole broken being, enter my heart, shattered into 1,000 pieces, and heal what the passage of time could not heal, what no human therapy has ever reached. Touch, with maternal tenderness, those painful memories that still hurt as if they happened yesterday. Touch those immense voids left by terrible losses, by cruel rejections that shaped my identity, by abandonments that marked me forever and changed the way I see life and human relationships. How many times have I had to be strong on the outside while completely destroyed inside, bleeding in silence where no one could see? How many times have I silenced my deepest pain, locked it away in the depths of my heart, because I knew no one could truly understand, that no one could comprehend the magnitude of what I feel each day as I wake to face reality? I have smiled when I was crying inside. I have said, I am fine, when inside I was collapsing. I have pretended to be strong when I felt more fragile than glass. But you understand all of this, my dear mother. You who stood at the foot of the cross, witnessing your innocent son suffer, watching the one you loved most die, unable to do anything other than share in his pain. You know exactly what I carry in this wounded heart. You know every visible and invisible scar, every open wound that still bleeds when no one is watching. That is why I beg you with uncontrollable tears, heal my weary and exhausted soul, tired from fighting alone against storms that seem endless. Completely renew my shattered emotions that no longer function as they should. Uproot the bitterness that has taken hold in me like a poisonous tree with roots running deep. Remove the resentment that eats me from within like a slow poison, destroying my ability to be happy. Eliminate the chronic sadness that has accumulated year after year, like heavy layers of unprocessed, unhealed, unreleased pain. Teach me the path of true forgiveness toward those who have deeply hurt me, who left marks that cannot be erased. Teach me to forgive those who betrayed me when I trusted them the most, those who abandoned me when I needed them most, those who judged me without knowing my full story. And also, teach me the path of forgiveness toward myself for my own mistakes that I cannot stop replaying in my mind, for my failures that shame me, for the wrong decisions I made that changed the course of my life. Let fall to the ground, like dead leaves carried by the wind, all the contained rage that keeps me imprisoned by my own past, that prevents me from moving toward the future. Let me feel genuine peace again, that deep peace that surpasses all human understanding, that peace which the world cannot give nor take away. Restore to me the lightness of spirit I once had before the weight of life crushed me, before circumstances stole the ease of my soul. Restore to me the ability to marvel at the simple things in life. A sunrise, a sincere smile, a gesture of love. Restore to me the pure hope of a heart that can still dream of a better future, that can still believe that the best days are yet to come. Restore in me the joy of living that was lost somewhere along the way without my noticing. That joy which does not depend on external circumstances, but springs from within like a fountain of fresh water. Restore to me the ability to love without paralyzing fear that makes me build walls, without the emotional barriers I have constructed brick by brick to protect myself from pain. Restore to me the ability to trust again in life, in people, in the future. The ability to believe that good things can happen to me without always expecting the worst. The ability to believe that I deserve to be happy and whole, that my life has value and purpose. If any trauma from the past has blocked me emotionally, if there are painful experiences that left my heart frozen, that prevent me from feeling fully, that left me paralyzed in time as if that horrible experience had never ended, may it be completely undone right now through your powerful maternal intercession. Break the chains that bind my present to that painful past. Free me from the nightmares that return again and again. Heal me from the emotional triggers that make me relive the pain as if it were yesterday. Our Lady, untire of knots, heal my entire life story with your immense motherly love. My whole timeline needs your healing touch, from the beginning until now, every stage of my life. Visit my childhood and heal the wounded child who still cries inside me. Visit my adolescence and restore the confused youth who lost his way. Visit my present and strengthen the weary adult who needs your maternal embrace. Where there is chronic pain that seems endless, that accompanies me like a shadow day and night, plant your healing comfort that brings true and lasting relief. Where there is existential emptiness, that constant feeling that something is always missing, that hollow space in my chest that nothing seems to fill, place divine meaning and purpose, reasons to live, reasons to keep moving forward. Where there is fear that paralyzes me and prevents me from advancing toward opportunities, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of suffering again, pour abundantly your peace that surpasses all human understanding and calms even the most violent storms of the soul. I no longer want to merely survive day after day, dragging myself through life without desire, counting the hours until the day ends, Mother. I want to truly live with genuine intensity, with renewed passion, with a heart completely whole and healed, restored by your maternal love. I want to wake up each morning with hope instead of fear. I want to sleep each night with peace instead of anxiety. And today, I believe with all my being that my inner self is being deeply restored by your maternal love, which heals everything, leaving nothing untouched, reaching the darkest corners of my soul where no one else has reached. Mother, I know with certainty that I do not have to face any battle alone, that I was not made to fight these overwhelming wars by myself. That is why today I ask you with absolute humility and a completely open heart, send the powerful help of heaven into my life now. Send the holy angels of God to fight fiercely for me in the spiritual dimensions I cannot see, to open impossible paths where I have already completely exhausted my insistence without result, where I have drained all my human strength to the very last drop. Send, my Mother, the right people at the exact moment, in the exact place, with the exact message I need to hear to keep moving forward. People who arrive as a direct answer to my desperate prayers, as angels disguised as human beings. People filled with true faith who inspire my soul, with genuine light that illuminates my deepest darkness, with sincere compassion that understands my pain without judging me, without condemning me, without rejecting me. People who see beyond my mistakes and recognize the potential God placed in me. People who believe in me when I no longer believe in myself. People who extend their hand when I am fallen and have no strength to rise alone. Remove definitively and without any possibility of return from my path those who only delay my life mission, who are obstacles disguised as help, who promise but never fulfill. Remove those who drain my vital energy with their constant negativity, with their endless complaints, with their lack of faith that contaminates my hope. Remove those who constantly pull me down with their destructive words, their negative attitudes, their disbelief that contaminates my faith when I most need to keep it strong. And instead, bring closer and attract into my life those special human beings who will help me flourish like a flower that has been waiting for the sun during an eternal winter. People who will help me grow in all areas of my life, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, materially. People who will help me become who I am truly called to be, according to God's perfect plan for my unique and unrepeatable life. Open wide the human doors of divine providence that are currently closed. Touch deeply the hearts of those who have the ability and resources to extend their hand toward me in this moment of urgent need. Move their spirits so that they think of me, remember my situation, and act in my favor. If I urgently need a specific answer to a question that keeps me awake at night, let it arrive soon and with absolute clarity, without ambiguity. If I need a concrete solution to this problem that overwhelms me and steals my peace, let it be revealed with absolute clarity at the perfect moment. If I need direction for my life because I am lost and don't know which path to take, let heaven show me with clear and unmistakable signs where I must go, what the next step is that I must take with confidence. Let no blessing that belongs to me according to God's plans be unjustly withheld in heaven. Let no help I desperately need arrive too late, when it would no longer serve. Our Lady, untier of knots, I now cry out with a strong and determined voice for divine assistance that comes directly through you, through your powerful intercession before God. You know perfectly my human limits. You know how far I can endure, and you know exactly what I need in this moment to move forward without breaking. That is why I send this prayer as a powerful shout of authentic faith, as a desperate cry that rises to heaven like incense, and I fully trust that from this very moment, heaven is already moving everything in my favor in the invisible dimensions. The right people are appearing on my path. The correct paths are opening before my eyes. Clear signs are manifesting, and supernatural miracles are being prepared for me. Everything is beginning to align perfectly by your hands full of infinite mercy, which order everything with wisdom. I no longer speak as someone who only begs in desperation without real hope. Now, I speak as one who truly believes in the invisible, as one who sees with eyes of faith what has not yet manifested in the natural. I speak as one who knows that the promises of God are more real than the temporary circumstances I see with my physical eyes. I declare with spiritual authority that my life is being deeply transformed in this very moment, even if I don't yet see immediate evidence. I declare that what was completely stuck without solution is now beginning to move with divine power from the roots. I declare aloud and firmly that the heavy chains that bound me have been definitively broken by the power of the victorious cross, that the impossible knots that no one could untie have begun to loosen one by one under your holy hands. I declare that doors that were sealed with cement, doors that seemed forever closed, are now opening wide, allowing the entry of new opportunities, new blessings, new beginnings. I declare that the answers I have long awaited with anxious hope are coming to me right now from heaven, traveling through people, circumstances, and miracles that God is preparing. I declare that divine help is arriving from heaven as a direct response to this sincere prayer of faith that I have lifted up. I declare over my own life that the deep and chronic sadness that accompanied me like a shadow is gradually losing its power over me, that its dark dominion is being broken piece by piece, and that renewed and radiant hope is being born again within my heart, like a seed sprouting after a long winter. Today, I prophesy over my own life with bold faith, with holy courage. Nothing will remain as it was before. Everything will be completely new, just as when God makes all things new. For Our Lady, untire of knots, is acting with supernatural power and infinite mercy at this very moment for me, interceding without ceasing. And where before there was only thick and suffocating darkness that made it impossible to see anything at all, now there is radiant light that illuminates everything and reveals the way. Where there was total confusion that left me disoriented, not knowing which direction to take, now there is peace that surpasses human understanding and mental clarity that allows me to see clearly. Where there was painful lack and scarcity in every area of my life, now there is abundant provision coming directly from heaven, more than I need. I declare that God is making completely new all those things that seemed forever lost, irrecoverable, beyond repair. He is restoring what the locusts have eaten according to His promise. He is rebuilding what has collapsed. He is healing what seemed dead. No knot, no matter how tight or how long it has been there, will remain bound before the unstoppable force of heaven. No blockage, no matter how great it appears, will ever be greater than the infinite love of God that can do all things. Today, I take possession of my new beginning with courage and declare with a firm voice, my life is in the holy hands of the one who never fails, who never abandons her children, who always intercedes with unconditional maternal love. And therefore, my victory has already begun in the powerful name of Jesus, who conquered death and hell. With the protective gaze of Mary upon me each day, and with the heavens completely open, pouring out blessings without measure, I move forward with unshakable faith, with renewed courage that comes from above, and with the absolute certainty that something extraordinary and supernatural has already begun to manifest in my life, even if I cannot yet fully see it with my physical eyes. I believe it, I receive it, I declare it. Beloved and dear Mother, I give you infinite thanks from the depths of my grateful heart. Even before seeing the miracle with my physical eyes, before having tangible evidence in my hands that I can touch, I already thank you with all my heart, because I know with deep certainty that while I prayed here with sincere devotion, pouring out my soul before you, you were already acting in heaven, interceding before your Son for me, with that maternal love that never rests. I know that while my tears fell one after another on my face, your motherly arms were silently embracing me, gently drying each tear, keeping everyone in your heart. And while I anguished, saying, I can't take it anymore, while I felt completely broken under the weight of everything, you were already preparing the help I needed, the answer I longed for, the miracle that seemed impossible. For all of this, with deep faith that springs from within me and sincere humility that recognizes my total dependence on grace, I praise you with all my being, with all my voice. I praise you for the doors that will soon open wide before me, doors of opportunity, doors of blessing, doors of destiny. I praise you for the answers that are already traveling toward me from heaven at this very moment. I praise you for the complicated knots that are being undone one by one, slowly but surely, by your blessed and powerful hands that can do all things. Thank you, my mother, for never giving up on me when I wanted to give up on everything, when I was about to surrender. Thank you for continuing to pray without ceasing for me, even when my own faith fell silent and I could no longer find words to pray, when my mouth could no longer articulate pleas. Thank you for carrying me in your arms when my strength was completely gone and I could not take another step by myself. I thank you for every invisible detail that you are adjusting right now in my favor. Things I do not see, but that are happening in the spiritual realm. Movements of heaven that will soon manifest on earth. I thank you for the peace that is returning to my heart, like a calm river after the storm, like the serenity that follows a hurricane. I thank you for the hope that blooms again, like a beautiful flower in spring after the coldest, darkest winter. I thank you for the new beginning that approaches with firm steps toward me, a new chapter that is about to be written. Thank you, Our Lady, Untier of Knots, for interceding with such maternal and unconditional love that does not depend on my merits, my perfection, or whether I deserve it or not. I now rest in your motherly lap with the deep and unshakable certainty that I am never alone again, that your presence always accompanies me in good days and difficult ones. I thank heaven for the immense goodness of God, which is new every morning without fail, for your constant and faithful presence in my life, and for everything that is already being transformed in my life at this very moment, even if I do not yet fully see it. Today, my soul whispers with tenderness and profound gratitude. Thank you, my beloved mother, I trust you completely with all my heart, without reservations. If you have made it this far, if you have prayed with me up to this moment with faith and sincerity, I want you to know something with absolute certainty that you must never forget. Our Lady heard every single one of your words without exception. Every deep sigh that came from your soul, every tear that fell while you prayed with your heart completely open before her. Even if you do not yet see the changes with your physical eyes in the natural, even if everything seems the same materially, when you look around, the heavens have already begun to move powerfully for you in the spiritual dimensions that you cannot see, but which are more real than the visible. Continue believing without doubt. Do not lose faith now that you are so close to your miracle. Continue praying with persevering faith every day without weakening. The knots in your life are not eternal. They will not last forever, as it may seem. They have a divine expiration date. Mary is untying each one of them at this very moment with the infinite patience of a mother who loves unconditionally, who never tires of helping, who never gives up on her children. And that which seemed completely impossible from every human perspective, that which everyone said would never change, will soon become a living and powerful testimony in your hands, the irrefutable proof of God's power acting in your favor. The promise God made to you stands firm, unshakable as a rock, and you are not alone in this battle. You never truly have been, even if you have felt abandoned. Heaven is with you, Mary intercedes for you, and your miracle is on its way. Your story does not end here, in this place of pain. This is only a difficult chapter, but it is not the end of the book. God is writing something beautiful with your life, even if right now you only see smudges. What you are experiencing now will become a testimony that inspires others. Your pain will not be wasted. Your waiting will not be in vain. Your tears are being counted and kept. And when everything is resolved, when you see the miracle with your own eyes, you will understand why you had to go through this dark valley. You will understand that God never let go of your hand. You will understand that every difficult moment was preparing you for something greater. So keep your faith alive, keep your hope burning, and continue trusting that the Blessed Virgin Mary is untying every knot in your life with maternal love. If this prayer touched your heart deeply, if you felt something while praying with me, if there was even a single moment when you felt Mary's presence consoling you, write in the comments, "Mary, thank you for the victory granted." Share your testimony, because your faith can ignite the faith of someone else who is about to give up. Like this video so that the algorithm shows it to more people who desperately need it, just as you did. Every like is one more prayer multiplied. It is a helping hand to someone in the darkness seeking light. Share it with someone you know is going through difficult times and needs renewed hope. With that friend who is lost. With that family member suffering in silence. Sometimes we are the instrument God uses to bring comfort to others. Subscribe to Pray with Mary to continue praying together every day, because this is not just an isolated prayer. It is the beginning of a path of faith that we walk together as a community, as a spiritual family. For when we unite in true faith, when we pray as a united spiritual family with the same purpose, miracles happen in ways we never imagined. Lives change radically. Knots are undone, chains are broken, and the impossible becomes possible. Our Lady is already acting in your life at this very moment. Believe it with all your heart without doubt. Trust in her powerful and limitless intercession. Your miracle is not only on its way to you, it has already begun to manifest from the moment you decided to pray with faith. Do not give up now. The answer is coming.